Hi, my name is Nicole. Welcome to my channel, Travel to Money. In this video, I'm going to talk about the differences between traveling solo and traveling duo, what is best and worst about each, and some of my personal experiences with both. If you are new here, I have created this channel to help you learn about how to travel, adventure, and have fun on the road to financial independence. I have traveled the world, paid off a house in Spain, and I've made big moves toward financial independence. I believe that the road to financial freedom can and should be fun. I hope that you'll subscribe and join me on this journey, no matter where you are starting from. In 2017, I set off alone for my first world adventure. I spent 4 months traveling to places including France, Italy, Greece, Spain, Dubai, and Iraq. A few years later, in 2019, my best friend and I set off for a world travel experience that took us to Spain, Portugal, Montenegro, Croatia, Andorra, Greece, Indonesia, and Egypt. So I've done quite a bit of traveling, both solo and duo, and each has wonderful things to offer that make the experience really different. First is something that might be pretty obvious, but there is a cost difference in traveling solo versus traveling duo. The main savings in traveling duo is that some of the costs are shared, such as accommodation and car rentals. Now, when I traveled with my friend, we booked 2-bedroom apartments, so the cost of the Airbnb rentals was more than when I traveled alone. But there was still savings once the cost was split, in comparison to what I paid for a place all to myself. Now, if you're traveling with your partner and you only need a 1-bedroom apartment, the savings will be even greater. In regard to transportation savings, that is generally limited to a rental car. Most other forms of transportation are tickets purchased by individuals. The other thing is that many tours or experiences like cruises have pricing based on double occupancy, so it can be a bit more pricey per person. Next, I'd like to talk about meeting people. When I traveled alone, I ended up having so many amazing experiences meeting new people. I suppose because I was by myself, people would more naturally start a conversation with me. I went bike riding at midnight with a stranger in Paris, met an Iraqi refugee on the beach of Greece that I'm still friends with, went on motorcycle rides with guys in Rome and Athens, and the list goes on. Those experiences were incredible. The downside to constantly meeting new people is that the conversation each time can tend to be pretty similar. I found myself telling the same story over and over again because the questions were always the same. Where are you from? What brings you here? You travel full time? It's not that I mind these conversations at all, but the thing I found myself missing was the depth of conversation that comes when you have ongoing relationships with people. I don't know what exactly these differences would feel like for an introvert, but as an extrovert, those are the things I notice. When I was traveling with my friend, I didn't feel like people approached us as often, though my friend is from Portugal and she speaks English with a very unique British accent, so people would often ask her where she was from. We did, of course, meet some interesting people in certain circumstances, but it just wasn't as frequent as when I traveled alone. One time we ordered an Uber in Hurghada, Egypt. The gentleman who drove us was so kind, and it turned out that his wife was a nail technician. We ended up keeping his number and would message him directly for transport, and then one day he picked us up and took us to their home for his wife to do our nails. They were such a sweet family, and it was an awesome experience. I really enjoy meeting new people during my travels, and I would just say that it is a bit more limited when you travel duo. The benefit to traveling duo is that you always have company and you get the depth of relationship that can be missing when you travel alone. Next, we can talk about the difference in activities. Although I really like to be around people, when I traveled by myself, I did get to the point that I was very comfortable going out for a meal by myself or doing other things on my own. So I still spent a lot of my time in similar ways to traveling duo, but I would just do things by myself. Traveling solo, I used the Couchsurfing app a lot to meet up with people or go out to events for travelers. Couchsurfing is often used as a way to have free accommodation, but I always wanted a private space to myself, so I've never used it for that purpose. But that doesn't mean the app can't be super helpful when it comes to just being social. You can use a feature called Hangouts, where you share your general location and put on there what you want to do. It says, I want to, and then you fill in the blank with something like have coffee, go ice skating, walk through the city, or whatever it is you want to do. Then people can message you if they are interested in meeting up. I know it sounds like it could be creepy, but I've only had amazing experiences and have met some really cool people. Another feature they have is events. You can create an event if you want to host one, but I've used this to see about events going on in an area I'll be visiting. I've used it to visit an open mic night in Paris, pub crawls in Valencia, and a nice rooftop gathering in Bali. Before I set off on my travels, I even used it to visit a potluck lunch right here in my home city of Orlando, Florida. Give it a try in your home city. You probably have a lot of cool advice to offer to travelers, and you get to meet amazing people from all over the world. I've met some fantastic people, and it has provided a cool community when I'm traveling. I think the Couchsurfing app used to be free or was based on donation only. Now you have to pay just under $15 per year to be a member. It's worth it in my opinion, but if you read the app reviews, a lot of people got pissed off about it. I'm not sure how much it has affected the amount of people who use the app, but personally, I don't mind paying that small amount to have access to all they offer. If you are looking for a free place to stay, this could certainly be a winner for you as well. When I was traveling to Greece for a month, I put the dates in that I would be there, and over 30 people offered to host me for the entire month for free. As a single female traveler, that's not something I felt very comfortable doing, but I do think there is a fair amount of opportunity to have free accommodation from some very kind hosts who love their cities and offer an incredible amount of hospitality. You can also use the app to reciprocate and give other travelers a couch or a room to stay in when they are in your city. Okay, I didn't mean to make so much of this video about the Couchsurfing app. I'm not sponsored by them, I've just used the app a lot in my travels. My last comparison is that of responsibility versus choice. When you travel solo, you can do absolutely anything you want to do whenever you want to do it. The choice is always up to you. When you are traveling with another person, you have someone else to keep in mind. My friend and I had a lot in common as far as how we liked to complete our work and the things we both wanted to do, so it really felt easy for the most part. If you travel with someone who has different interests, I could see how that would be a bit more complicated. On the flip side, even though you lose the ability to choose exactly what you want to do when you want to do it, one of the benefits of traveling duo is shared responsibility. You don't have to plan everything yourself. I can think of so many scenarios when it was really helpful to have my friend around. If you are sick, someone else can run to the grocery store for you. One person can get the luggage while the other gets the rental car. One person can drive half of the way while the other person naps. Things like this may seem small, but it really does add up and can be so much more convenient. So I've thought a lot about what I would recommend to someone if they were to ask which is better, traveling solo or traveling duo. I think it's a hard one to answer. As an extrovert, my preference is traveling duo. I love climbing to the top of a mountain and having another person to celebrate with. If I did it alone, I would feel like something was missing. But that's just me. On the other hand, I learned a lot about myself, my abilities, and my weaknesses when I traveled alone. Even if you plan to travel duo, I would highly recommend spending some time traveling by yourself. The education is valuable and there is much to learn from each. What's your preference or experience on this topic? Tell me about it in the comments. If you have enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to join me every Sunday where travel and adventure build financial freedom. I can't wait to see where your dreams will take you.